Hello, viewers. My name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
This is Seeking Media Productions. Bring you a new anime review.
Okay, so how does one define the term of best boy?
Boji! We are reviewing Ranking of Kings, or Osamu ranking.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely an anime that embodies the whole concept of not judging a book by its cover, which originally might play us off as an underplaying of childish anime genre, probably no more so different from Hamtaro or something like that. No, this is completely in a league of its own and very much like the show itself, highly ranks itself among the type tier of very extremely blessed anime series that have graced our screens.
Yes, Ranking of Kings. When we talk about to further iterate the concept of not judging a book by its cover, we have a review on this channel for the first season of Made in Abyss, a series that for more recommend Ranking of Kings for a more general audience.
Oh
than
yeah,
Made in Abyss is.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's put it this way: where Ranking of Kings is definitely much a story that anybody can pull from and find comfort in and a general heart and longing for. When it comes to Made in Abyss, that is definitely a genre fare for which it is not for the light of heart.
It's not. But more on Ranking of Kings, since this is our review. This was developed and produced from Wit Studio. Wit Studio is known for such acclaimed animes like BB, short-lived Syrup at the End, and the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. More on that Attack on Titan when we get around to reviewing that series once that officially ends.
But let's talk about Boji.
Ranking of Kings is a coming-of-age tale set in a fictional medieval fantasy setting about our young hero of Boji.
Now, Boji isn't like your most typical shonen or anime characters. No, very much this is a character who has a lot on their plate as far as what life has thrown at them, specifically with a lot of disabilities. This is a character who is both mute and deaf.
And he's very, 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 very short in stature.
And not on top of all these, he's not as strong as most of his other contemporary characters that relies on his journey.
Like Boji, he is the firstborn prince of a very powerful king by the name of Boss, and he's the first. He's next in line to the throne. But once the story catapults itself into the adventures, once King Boss falls ill, and he has to appoint his new successor. That other successor between between Boji and his younger brother Daida.
Now, of course, with any world storyline, there is a lot of intrigue and plot that revolves around the concept in this case a Game of Thrones within this particular series, but which should have played out as far as what the art style of the show would have what most of the typical audiences would have thought about. It would have been like a kiddie play on just on medieval story structure, but this goes really hard real quick on just how serious it is on the concept of maintaining one's kingdom and the perils of truly rising up to the ranks of ruling as a king.
Yeah, the consequences of one's actions is even felt on a more generational level, which is very strong theme in modern day storytelling nowadays, of how generational trauma, it trickles down to the present day issues that a lot of people face.
Oh yeah.
And Boji, he got thrown into the short end. He really was given the short end of the stick because he's on top of the many physical disabilities he has, he's surrounded by a lot of other individuals who are out to get him through all the many ways, and so you get a situation where you can't really trust anybody on this show.
Of course, though, that is not typically just his own case. He does have an ally, a strong friend that he finds in a small shadow-like character called Kage, and their beautiful friendship is something that completely radiates the darkness that lies in the heart of the series.
And for a show that does go hard on the more serious impacts, it is a very heartwarming coming of age tale of like the traditional tropes of friendship, but also the very strong familiar bonds, and like a lot of that is what drives the characters going on, like pushes them forward. And we talk about characters now. For Boji, yet again, he's a very enduring character with a lot of trials and tribulations that he put through in his own story arc.
And of course, like I said, we already brought up the concept of his younger brother, Daida, who, I mean, in typical first fashion might seem is just
very prudish
and spoiled individual
entitled.
Who feels incredibly entitled. But he's definitely an individual where you kind of see where that is coming from, where he does have to put on this kind of front of strength because of who both Boji and his father truly is. King Boss was just that much of an encompassing figure. Someone who radiated and very much embodied the concept of strength, and that is very much the whole, glue that puts together the entire kingdom of Boss.
Mm-hmm. And with Daida, a lot of that pressure and that stigmatization comes from his own biological mother, because the situation with the whole Boji situation, just in case if some people might get confused on how a lot of the familiar trappings are intertwined. Daida is Boji's half brother, half brother through through Boss's second marriage in the kingdom, and Boji, who's sad, Boji's mother passed away prior to the series, hence why Queen Hilda is the new queen at the start.
And with her character, which honestly had been played off as one of those typical evil stepmother tropes, or overbearing, uncaring parental figures, really evolves into an individual who has much as complexity as the rest of the individual characters in the story, and it is definitely an individual who you end up truly sympathizing with and truly understanding where is she coming from too, because there is a lot, just as much as there is a huge toll to be lifted on or at least placed on the shoulders of both Boji and his brother, there is a huge role that has been placed on her shoulders as well.
Though no story is this type of genre is as good as much as its antagonist is. The show has a lot, but it does have one main one by the name of Lady Melandra.
Now, this is an individual that you could have definitely said, oh, we could have just thrown away and just hated her, and there was no real reason for why she does the things she does. But no, there really is an undercurrent as to who she is and why is she doing these particular horrible, nasty things.
But mind you, with the from the reasons why she basically is the cause of a lot of heartache in the story, there is a clear line that really places her in the very villain route, to the point that near the end of the series, you will be questioning certain character decisions that deals with her I'll say outcome.
And I guess that's the whole thing when it comes to a lot of the outcomes that happen at the end of this series, which is definitely something where this does wraps this stuff up very nicely in a way that if you don't get anything else more from it, I'm fine with it. This was just a truly well written and well brought out story, but at the same time there is enough in the story structure of this series and the tapestry for which they have thrown out that I could definitely see even more coming to light and more that can be flourished and enjoyed.
When we talk about not judge a book by its cover, from the production standpoint, it does look like a very like a very a child's storybook come to life just through the means of an anime studio.
But just wait till those fight scenes kick in.
You come for the fight scenes and stay for the story.
Oh
and
my god, that's just like
it's very surprising how they turned it out.
I could just sit back and watch so much of this show. You can binge watch the series. It's just that good.
And not to mention the openings of which the show.
Can we say that the opening tune for Reckoning Kings had no right slapping as hard as it truly did? It was just freaking phenomenal, and it hits even harder if you were around from the beginning of the journey.
Yes,
it's amazing. But that second opening really encompasses the heart of what the series truly is, and definitely the journey for which Boji takes himself, Boji and Kage find themselves in this really wacky, but at the same time harsh and overbearing world.
This is a highly recommended anime that I like to dish out for.
Just watch this.
I'm basically going to be saying that this is an amazing show.
Yes. Top tier, like I said. This show is amazing. You have to watch it.
Like, the only reason why we're not saying it's epic because we do take it in fact that it might, like, the childlike art direction may be put off for some.
And at the same time, like I said, there are a lot of concepts in this series they introduced that could have definitely been pushed a little bit further, or at least elaborated on if they wanted to tell the story a little bit further along.
But for the most part, it's its own solid outing, and that is actually a quick binge as well. So.
Yeah, like I said, you could really just binge watch this entire series. As a matter of fact, I probably would in a whole dang day if you have that option. Watch it.
All right. So that was our review for Record of Kings.
Guys, as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit that bell down there at the bottom for notifications. We want to hear from you.
Be sure to look at our social media outlets of Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for other content that we do not have time to watch on this channel.
Please, guys. But as always, see you later.
See you.